tuned to Evergreen Media Network. I am Cindy Schwartz, and this is our Veterans Voice radio show with your host, Ralph Nathan Oko.
Hey, did you hear the latest about our Florida Highwaymen?
No, what?
There's a Highwaymen Art Gallery in Vero Beach.
Really? Where?
1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, when's it open?
7 days a week. Call 954-557-6226 for an appointment anytime.
No kidding?
Just call for your appointment, 954-557-6226, and then go to 1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, that's good news.
Hello, everybody, and thank you so much for being with us. You probably don't know and you're wondering, so Ralph, why did you start the show with a commercial? Well, bear with me, please. Forgive me.
It's a tough time for you, Ralph, it is. And that voice on the other side of your voice was Susan Harris.
And I'm sad to share the information with you that we lost Susan yesterday. Susan was sick for a few months. She took 3 of us into her fold and asked us to keep a promise of secrecy and privacy, which we honored. I wanted to play that in honor of Susan. I lost a sister. I lost a friend, the best friend. Mm-hmm. And bonding between men and bonding between women, but hardly ever do you see bonding between a man and a woman as best friends, best buddies, with no intimacies and nothing personal. But we shared our secrets, our intimate lives. And were it not for Susan, I probably would not know 95% of the people I know in Vero Beach and the Treasure Coast and Indian River. Susan was the queen of networking.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
If Fiddler on the Roof were to be written for Susan, it's because she was the greatest matchmaker also in the Treasure Coast. Mm-hmm. The biggest pleasure she had is introducing 2 people that maybe can do business together or maybe date, whichever, or a business and a personal, like recommending restaurants and stores and so on. She had the biggest heart, and she, like me, are very, very private. That's something the 2 of us always joked about. She says, you wouldn't tell anybody, would you? She says, you don't tell anybody nothing. And that's how, so Susan and I are very close. So I can only tell everybody out there that the community, the city of Vero Beach, the county of Indian River, and the Treasure Coast has got a big void, and I have a hole in my heart that will never be fulfilled.
Yeah.
Love you, Susan.
The whole town is going to miss her, definitely, Ralph. And just to throw it out there, she was at Jetsons for a very long time.
Yes, I think she was pushing like 20 years for them.
Wow, yeah.
But and you can see why she was customer relations, a liaison, because she knew how to take a negative and an unhappy customer, and most of the time, sometimes you just can't.
Right,
But most of the time, she was able to kind of transform an angry, sad person into somebody a little bit more congenial or happy.
Right.
So I can only tell everybody out there, for your calling me and texting me and emailing me to see how I am, in view of the fact, God bless all of you. Thank you. You made me feel special. Mm-hmm. So let's talk about something a little bit, unfortunately, it's better, but it's not. One of the problems I'm having is witnessing scams. One of the problems I'm having is people being curious and falling into traps that they should know better until afterwards. So I reached out to Jeff Luther, my friend at the Sheriff's Office, Indian River Sheriff's Office, and he would have been here today, but fortunately for me, Jeff was, as I am, was very close to Susan. In fact, I met Jeff, again, 95%. I met Jeff. I remember the first lunch that Susan and I had by the old Kmart at Hurricanes. That's what we met, because Jeff loved Hurricanes. And Susan loved it. One liked the wings and one liked the chicken. Anyway, so I met Jeff at the bank a couple of days ago. And we were supposed to have a different guest, a doctor, and he got called on an emergency. So I felt that Bashir it was meant to be. And I said, Jeff, what are you doing outside? And he said, he looked at his phone and said, nothing. He said, and I told him, how about tomorrow, Wednesday, 2:00, and we'll record so we can air. And you're hearing this today, July 25th. So, and we confirmed it. So when I walked into the studio this morning, I walk in and I see a very attractive, professionally dressed person. Well, Jeff probably is having the same problem I'm having. You know, you can face death and you can face sickness. You can face a lot of things. And grown men do cry. I eat quiche and I wear pink also, by the way. And I do ask for directions, and I do also say I'm sorry and I love you. So real men do that. And Jeff is like me, private and a real he-man. But he wasn't. He sent a gorgeous woman there. And Sydney, thank you for being with us. I hope I didn't embarrass you, but
No.
I've got to add humor to this sad day.
I appreciate
So
that.
I want to introduce Sydney McKay. Pronounced it correctly?
Yes, you did.
So why don't you tell us about, and let's have a conversation about scams. How can we help people not get burned, hurt, financially or otherwise?
One of the biggest recommendations that I tell people, because I go around the county and do presentations with our community affairs unit to different assisted living facilities, neighborhoods, etc. And the biggest thing I always harp on, and I'm sure anyone who has been in one of my audiences can tell you, if it seems too good to be true, it is. Not even probably. It is.
Yeah.
Because Publishers Clearinghouse is a big one that I've been seeing lately. It's kind of ramped back up. And a lot of people, of course, there's financial stress on a lot of us right now. So the idea that there's a bag full of money that you only have to send $1,000 and you'll have millions in a new Mercedes, it sounds wonderful, until there's more fees and there's more fees and there's more fees until your bank account is drained and there's no new Mercedes.
How do we avoid it? How do we detect it?
Detecting, honestly, there are kind of 5 P's that I tell people for fraud. They will pretend to be someone that you know or trust. So, unfortunately, this day and age, question everything. If it's the sheriff's office calling you, hang up and call the non-emergency line. Or even if you don't have that, you can call 911. It's not going to be misuse of 911. It's preventing an emergency and financial instability for yourself. They impersonate the sheriff's office. They call pretending to be an official. They will use names of actual deputies, sergeants, captains, lieutenants, the whole gambit, and say that you have a warrant out for your arrest or a loved one has been arrested. And the loved one may have been actually arrested, and they're going through the incarceration websites, which are public. They're public record, and they're live, basically.
Okay, yeah. I was going to ask that, not to interrupt you, because sometimes when you get to that, I mean, if it would be just an anonymous call with anonymous names saying, you know, this is whatever, Bandy, whatever, and I have your grandson, I mean, I'd be like, oh, poo-poo, how do they know it's my grandson? And my next question would be, well, you know, what's his name or whatever? But if they're using that person's name off of the website, then that's how you get hoodwinked.
But one big thing that I stress, create a family password.
Okay.
So something, it could be something completely oddball. It could be hilarious. It could be armadillo, something just absolutely silly. The sillier, the better, honestly, because those are easier to remember.
Yeah.
And
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's
even
a good point.
in any kind of emergency, if someone's calling, impersonating law enforcement, saying that they're with a loved one, or an attorney saying that they need their fees covered so that they're not being arrested, or they just got into a crash, something, you can say, okay, let me talk to them or ask them what the family password is. They'll hem and haw around it. They'll try and say, hang up, and then call that actual loved one. Call the sheriff's office.
Okay, so
The phone numbers they call them from, are they traceable, or they're like the, what do you call those, portable cell phones?
burner.
They're usually burner phones.
Yeah.
They're burner cell phone numbers. Honestly, you can get numbers for pennies.
Yeah.
And that's way above my pay grade to be able to put some kind of stress on those companies to say, hey, we need to be able to trace these numbers. They're
Right.
using them for nefarious means.
Right, yeah.
But
I saw a picture on Facebook a couple of weeks ago, and it was just wham, gone right away.
Mm-hmm.
It was of a house, literally bare house, no furniture, nothing. Every room, wall to wall, around in the middle, was, I don't know what you call them. To me, they're big computers, but they're all cell phones. One
Yep.
connected to the whole house. And so the cell phone, and they're all automatic. They make the call, they pitch whatever, and if it doesn't work, either they got hung up on or they hang up. And the next phone, a different number out of a completely different area, calls, and the same, and it's just one after. The whole house is full of cell phones.
oh yeah, they have that. I know we have some stateside. So many of them, if you're familiar with the post office text messages, that you have a package and you need to click the link to get your package because the post office has it. UPS or the Indeed job offers that you get randomly via text message. A lot of those are phishing attempts. And a lot of those originate overseas
Yeah.
in big call centers that originates in human trafficking, which is extremely unfortunate. A lot of the people that are on the other end are being trafficked.
Yeah, someone told me that a couple of weeks ago because I was exasperated by how many calls I was getting, and they said, that's what that is. A lot of it is people that are slaves, if you will, that are
Yep.
forced to do those kind of things and are told, they either do this or they're going to be dead, or even if they're dead anyway.
families.
And I don't mean that as a flippant
Yeah.
remark, but that's what's happening. And I
true.
didn't realize that. I was like, I thought it was just some jerk, pardon my language, that was doing it, for kicks and giggles. And they said, no, that's what a lot of that stuff is. And that's what the human trafficking is, sadly.
Okay,
Sometimes it is a jerk, but
okay, we're
Yeah,
going to take
yeah.
a short break. But I want to talk about domestic data centers are proliferating. So remind me in case I forget.
Okay.
Everybody, this is our Veterans Voice Radio. We have Sidney McKay with us from the Sheriff's Office, and we're discussing scams. Please stay tuned because there's a lot of things we need to share with you. We'll be right back, everybody.
I'm Dr. Tim Ioannidis at Treasure Coast Dermatology. At Treasure Coast Dermatology, we believe in the prevention and early detection of skin cancer. We are medical doctors, and we focus on the medical aspects of dermatology. You don't need a sales pitch for Botox, collagen, or wrinkle creams. You need a doctor that cares about you and the health of your skin. We feel by not trying to do too much, we can do more for our patients.
Call toll-free 877-870-DERM. That's 877-870-3376.
Meet Henry Bach, patient of Florida Eye Institute.
After having the cataracts removed, it was a whole new world for me. The colors were brilliant. It was painless. You could almost say it's like being born all over again. When I come in here, it's like coming home. Everyone's so friendly and nice. It's just a wonderful experience.
Are you ready to experience truly exceptional patient care? Florida Eye Institute.
Hey, did you hear the latest about our Florida Highwomen?
No, what?
There's a Highwomen Art Gallery in Vero Beach.
Really? Where?
1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, when's it open?
7 days a week. Call 954-557-6226 for an appointment anytime.
No kidding?
Just call for your appointment, 954-557-6226, and then go to 1872 Commerce Avenue.
Wow, that's good news.
And we're back on our Veterans Voice Radio show with Ralph Nathan Oko.
Hello, everybody. We're back. And remember, we're dedicating today's show to all of our dear, dear friend Susan Harris, that passed away yesterday. We have with us, we're discussing with Sidney McCain from the Sheriff's Office, Indian River Sheriff's Office, about scams. And during the commercial, we were discussing the password. I'd never heard of that concept. So I want you to, if you don't mind, let's discuss that for a second. Because I have a Cindy and a Sydney, and I'm starting to have blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
But Cindy asked a very good question, so I want to So can you explain where I'm coming from? And then
Absolutely.
Then we'll get to the data centers.
The question would be if there was actually a serious accident, if the person's unconscious, they have a severe TBI and are not remembering their own name, let alone their family password. The person who's calling is not going to be the patient. It's going to be the legitimate family member who may either see you calling them, or if you're listed as an emergency contact that they're able to access on your device and they're calling you from their number, then you can ask for the department and their name and then go ahead and look up that non-emergency phone number. I wouldn't ask the person who you're suspecting is a scammer for the phone number because they're just going to direct you to another bad number. Then they can also impersonate numbers. So the same way, not to get too off track, but the PBX systems that hospitals, sheriff's office, large businesses use, because when you're calling, if I call you from my extension, it comes up as 772-569-6700. So that's a PBX system, and that's what the scammers use for their nefarious means to impersonate numbers, and that makes it, of course, even harder to trace those numbers because that's what it shows up on the caller ID. It shows up on the phone log. That's what they're disguising that phone number as, which is why sometimes you will get a call from 569-6700.
Right.
I'm not smart enough to know how these people can come up with all these gimmicks and ideas.
If they just used it for good.
Right.
Yeah,
If they just used it for good.
Yeah.
It goes back to the the Coyote and the
Roadrunner
commercial. As a kid, I thought they were great. As an adult, I look at if that blankety bad guy, Coyote, would take all the money and the time he's expanding and put it into positive effort, he could get all the Roadrunners he can get to the store.
Right.
Exactly.
So the same with the bad guys. So, excuse me. So I meant to ask you now. So going back to the data centers, with the proliferation of data centers all over the country, are we going to have to up this problem more so than ever with scammers?
AI has really upped their game. Before, the big red flag used to be the grammar being awful and someone calling you and they're saying their name is Pete when it's very clearly not Pete and they have a very thick accent. Now, these scammers are able to use the translation software, run it through AI to make it grammatically correct and professional sounding, and then send those messages out. They are able to disguise their voices using AI. So one big thing to listen for is normal human interaction. A computer is going to sound like a computer no matter what you tell it to sound like. It may sound somewhat conversational, but when they're reading phone numbers back, they'll say it is 7725. Something like that.
Like a robot.
Exactly. And that's a big red flag. And that's a message that I have gotten before where it sounded very conversational, like some guy sitting at work going through a call list and cold calling, and then they give the callback phone number, and it's not how a human would read a phone number back.
Okay, let me share a personal experience several times. The phone rings. I pick it up, say hello, because the number is not in my contact list. If I saw there was Sydney, I'd say, hello, Sydney, how are we doing today? So I see a number strange to me. It doesn't say scam, so I pick it up and say hello. Is this Ralph? Who's calling? I don't say yes, because you're possibly being recorded. And when I say yes, it's Ralph's yes voice.
Yeah.
Now they take it and place an Amazon order, and with somebody else's credit card
Or
number,
call your bank.
or the bank, and we'll get to that, I'm sure. So don't say hello. This is Ralph. Here's my social security number.
Yes.
Here's my password number. Here's my bank account and routing number.
Yeah.
And here's a check number. And if you need, here's the name of my manager and his phone number. You don't do any of that. Now,
Exactly.
is there anything different than that I said that's wrong?
I always suggest going back to old landlines, screening calls. Screen your calls. If it's not a number that you have in your phone, let them leave a voicemail. If it's an emergency or they actually need you, they'll leave a voicemail. You can check that and then call them back.
That's my
Scammers most of the time are not leaving a message.
The other thing that I've noticed, I'm trying to share what I'm going through. And one of the things I notice also is the phone rings, I pick it up and I say hello, and there's silence. Now, what does that tell all of you listeners out there? Chances are there's not a human person, because you know and I know, if you call Ralph and if Ralph says hello, you're going to say, hi, this is Mary or John, or I'm selling vacuum cleaners, but you'll talk. When I pick up and I say hello and there's silence, I know the next thing it's going to be, hi, this is Jane. What are you doing Sunday? Or this is Jane. I got a piece of property that's behind your property. That the point I'm saying is, if you see and hear a gap, you can play the game or just hang up.
I always recommend hanging up and, again, not answering, because what they're doing, again, going back to phishing, they are just dialing random numbers. So they're starting from 772 and then whatever other digits come behind that and just circulating. And if one answers, they know it's a live number and they'll move that one to the side and then keep going until they give up or get something.
And then they have a list of people that did respond.
Exactly.
So where do they go from there?
Well, all of our information is out there. My social security number's out there, my name, my date of birth, everything is out there. It's just waiting for it to be sold to somebody or waiting for the right person to get it in their hands. The best prevention that I can recommend to anyone, check your credit reports regularly. Lock your credit, which is very, very easy. You can do it online. It's just a little toggle button. And if you need, it won't affect anything that you've got open already, but it does put kind of a wall up where someone else can't open something using your social security number, or it's significantly harder.
And where would you go to do that? Like Experian on one of those, or you go to the individual accounts?
The three major credit bureaus.
Okay.
So Experian, TransUnion, and it just left me.
I know. I couldn't think of it either. Yeah. That's why I said Experian. I was the only one I could remember.
Experian's always the big one.
Yeah. Okay.
It'll hit me either in a couple minutes or at 2 o'clock in the morning.
Call Cindy at 2 in the morning.
There we go.
We've got about a minute, 2 minutes to go, so we're okay. So what's the hottest, worst scam you've seen lately?
Romance scams. So they can either start on dating websites, or sometimes those messages that you get, I know I get them very frequently. I have a 954 number, so I'm like a hotspot for getting scammers. Or my number coming up as scam because it's 954. But they will send text messages out that looks conversational. So you could get one that says, hey, Pete, are we still on for golf on Friday? And then you go, oh, you got the wrong number, because generally that's what you're going to say to somebody. You're going to be kind and let them know, don't let them hanging, don't leave them hanging, but you've responded. And they may say, oh, I'm so sorry. You'll hear back from them maybe in a few minutes, even a couple days. They're playing the long game here. And they will reach out and say, you seem really nice. I'd like to get to know you and talk to you. And for some people who may not have community, that seems wonderful. So it's really relationship scams, but we dub them romance scams. And then that person either talks you into sending them money. They love to impersonate our service members. They love to impersonate our service members. They will grab photos off the internet, Facebook, what have you, and they'll send those as if that's the person. When it comes time to actually meet them, oh no, I got deployed. And then they're overseas, quote unquote overseas, and then
we're going to take a break. We're going to literally put this on hold for a couple of seconds, or
cliffhanger.
You want to know the rest of the story, you got to wait. We'll be right back, everybody. Our Veterans Voice Radio with Sidney McKay.